Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm doing a review on Tati's new palette. I will be showing you guys swatches, showing you how I got this look using this palette, as well as my final thoughts. But before we get into this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. All right, let's get into this video. Now the packaging for this palette is kind of unusual. I thought that Tati would do something more unique just because she is a beauty guru. She's been on YouTube for years, and just with her reviewing so many other products and just her thoughts about them, I just thought that she would kind of head into a different direction, something that we have never seen before in a palette. But with that said, it still is quite a beautiful palette. It doesn't come in a box or anything like that. It just comes in a sleeve that you pull out. Now the palette does have some weight to it, which is quite unusual. I have never seen a palette that's in this kind of style having such a weight to it. It just makes it more luxurious, more high-end, and I certainly do really like the fact that it has some weight to it. It also makes it easier when you're kind of holding the palette and applying the eyeshadow, just for it to really lay flat in your hand. I really like the fact that Tati is thinking of the future of her brand, and she created this much like a little book where it says volume 1 here, and I'm sure she's going to be creating other palettes as well that you can stack kind of next to each other. Now the palette itself is much like the Morphe palette, where it's just a regular matte black palette. It will get dirty, it will look very much loved the more that you use it, but I don't mind that very much. I love the mirror to this palette. It's so big, and what you can do is you can mix kind of cream products on it. I probably won't do that just because I don't like to make this more dirty than it has to be, but I did really love using the mirror to apply my makeup. Now let's get into the most important part, which is the eyeshadows. The quality of the eyeshadows are definitely that of a luxury type of eyeshadows. I love that she created different textures to the eyeshadows. We have the mattes, the sequins, the metallic, and the glitters. The mattes are true mattes. The sequins have a tiny little bit of specks of glitter in there. The metallics are beautiful, pigmented, and creamy. And the glitters are pretty chunky, have a ton of fallout, but you would expect that with glitter eyeshadows. Now I'm not going to swatch the entire palette. Tati did dedicate a full video of swatching the entire palette. I really want to focus more on talking about the texture and the palette itself and how I feel that it performs on the eyelids. But let's go ahead and swatch just a few of them. I love this maroon shade. It's really pigmented. I use this on my outer corner today. Let's see. Let's go ahead and swatch this sequin shade right here. Oh, it's so beautiful. They're so creamy. Let's do this one. And actually, I want to just swatch this because it's such a beautiful gunmetal shade. All right, so just one swatch. Wow, these are just, they're amazing. Such good eyeshadow quality. Look at this color here. Oh my gosh, I actually will definitely be doing a look on this one, that's for sure. Now I do want to talk about the glitters. They're quite chunky. You do need to be careful when applying it. If you are planning to use the glitter shades on your eyelids, do not put any of your foundation or your concealer on because you are going to get fallout. Now you don't necessarily need to use glitter glue for these shades. Now what I did is I did apply a cut crease, and then over that I applied one of the shades and then applied the glitter right on top. And I feel like really a glitter glue wasn't really needed, but they really are just so pretty. I love them. I have literally just used this palette for the first time and it's already getting really dirty. So as you use this palette, expect it to get extremely dirty no matter how much you try. Even when you try to clean it, the texture of it is matte, but it's not one that you can clean. But that's okay. I do hope that in the future, her palettes kind of change their texture where you can kind of somewhat clean them up. But it's makeup. You're supposed to have fun. It's supposed to get dirty. It just shows that you're actually using the product. If you guys watch Tati, you know that she loves Natasha Denona's eyeshadow palettes. Natasha Denona creates great eyeshadows. The texture is perfect. The eyeshadows are very creamy and pigmented. And she kind of kept comparing her eyeshadows to Natasha Denona's palettes as well. I thought it would be really cool to go ahead and compare both the eyeshadows. So I do have Natasha Denona's Sunrise palette. I feel like a lot of these colors do compare to Tati's palette. I feel like this maroon poet color in the matte is really comparable to Glow. So let's see. Yeah, this is really creamy. And let's compare it to this one. All right, so this one feels a little bit more textured, while this is just seamless and very creamy. Let's go ahead and swatch both of them. So this is Natasha Denona. Very beautiful, creamy eyeshadow. And then this is Tati's. You can see the color does compare. I do feel that Natasha's is a lot more creamy. All right, let's see how they blend. So Natasha's is kind of a little bit more patchy, but it does blend beautifully. And I see Tati's here. I'm having a little bit more difficulty in blending it. See, this one just basically completely blended in. And this one is, you can still see where the swatch initially was. It's a little bit more difficult to blend it. So, very interesting. All right, let's compare another color. Let's go ahead and compare these two. Right here, Phlox, which is kind of somewhat of a sequin or comparable to it. And let's compare this here, Story, in the sequin shade. Again, you feel that the Tati's one is a lot more grainier, and the Natasha Denona is just so creamy. You dip your finger in there. But I mean, we're comparing the price of these palettes. Usually Natasha Denona's palettes are around $120 for a palette. This particular one was cheaper because Natasha made it a little bit smaller, but in comparison, I don't know. All right, so these are the two shades. This is Tati, this is Natasha Denona. Okay, let's put it right here. All right, so this is Natasha Denona, very creamy and pigmented. And this is Tati's, also very pigmented, really beautiful. Let's see. You can see Tati's one has a little bit more of a shimmer to it, while the Natasha Denona one does have shimmer to it, but it's just the way that eyeshadow is. Both of them are beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and blend them. Again, very easy to blend Natasha Denona's eyeshadows. And then let's see here. This one's just a little bit more harder to blend. It will blend eventually, but it just takes a little bit longer. a little bit more time. They are somewhat comparable. I wouldn't say they're completely comparable, but for the price, I do feel that Tati's palette is quite high-end. It still is beautiful. It blends very well. Not quite as good as Natasha's eyeshadows, but I feel like Tati will get there. This is only her first release, so I know that she has a lot in store for us, and I just really can't wait for her company to grow. Now, I don't have any glitter shades to compare these two, but I do feel that the glitter shades are very comparable to the Huda Beauty palettes. Very similar in texture, very similar in the chunkiness of the glitter. Now, after this test, I definitely don't feel that Tati's palette is comparable 100% to Natasha's eyeshadows. Natasha's eyeshadows still are a lot more creamier and they blend a lot more better than Tati's eyeshadows, but Tati's palette retails for $48. Natasha's usually retails for $120. So in comparison to the price, I definitely feel that Tati is definitely a competition for Natasha's palettes. It's definitely worth it. I love the quality. I love the colors. You can create so many different looks. Love the metallics. Love the thought process that went into this palette. Love that there's different type of textures in the palette and just how it's presented as a whole. It's really a beautiful palette. Oh my gosh, look at that. I just opened this palette, just used it, and it's already so dirty. But that's okay. It just means I'm going to be loving this palette a lot. I'm going to be using it quite often. It will be my go-to palette for sure. So I definitely highly recommend it to you guys. I did hear that Tati is releasing something exclusive and new around Thanksgiving time. So I'm very excited for that. So that concludes my review on Tati's new eyeshadow palette. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this review. I hope it was useful for you. If you are thinking about purchasing this palette, it is currently out of stock, but I know that Tati is currently taking pre-orders on her website, so be sure to set your pre-orders in because this definitely is worth it. If you are thinking of gifting it to someone that loves makeup, they will definitely love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already and hit that notification bell to get notified when I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for your support. I will see you in my next video.